how many times in our lives we kind of feel like literally dragging and carrying people around us that maybe stayed with us for many years in the past, but now we kind of like know inside with the tiny sense of guilt that these people are no longer part of our lives, but we still keep them out of pity because we kind of like, we've been friends for so long, but inside that you wouldn't want to be like this person. Now I'm asking you, if you tomorrow woke up in your best friend's body with their lives, with their attitudes, their way of thinking, would you be happy? Would you want to be like them? And if you think that you become the result of the 5 people that are closest to you, which I'm assuming it can be your best friends, it can be your colleagues, would you want to be like them? If not, stop spending time with them. I don't know if you are familiar with the theory of spiritual levels of awareness, which basically says that you meet people on the same level of psychological wound as you, but you also leave them if you evolve out of that. And they haven't been able to. People around you aren't just keeping you company. They're shaping the person you're becoming. The problem is that most people don't even realize how valuable they are. And when you don't know your own worth, you settle for less. I always struggled with friendships, and I remember throughout my childhood this constant feel of loneliness. Over time, I kind of saw people approaching me as so valuable because they were giving me attention that I would just stay with them because they were being so nice to me. And therefore, I felt like, okay, I owe everything to this person because maybe they're being nice to me. The truth is that when you have a void inside, maybe you're seeking love, you're seeking appreciation, you risk accepting everything that comes in your way just because it makes you feel less alone. And now in my 20s, I've come to terms with the fact that it is okay to be alone if you don't have the right kind of people that you want by your side. Especially women tend to find it very hard to detach from situations and from friendships that are clearly not good for them. And this is because we are more empathetic, because we tend to care more for the other person. We tend to give our time to people because we seek connection, in every way possible. What happens if you keep staying with the wrong people in your life? Number one, you cannot make the room for the right people to come if you're still dragging people that clearly cannot reach a higher level. They cannot do it mentally, they cannot do it spiritually, so you have to leave them. You gotta have the courage to say no. In this world, there's a huge amount of beautiful people that would love to know you, that would love to meet you, to work with you, because you're still spending your time with people from your past. There's plenty of people out there that are just waiting for you. They are waiting for you to make that step forward and to say, I choose myself and I have high standards and I am the master of my life. Therefore, I am deciding who gets to stay with me, who I get to see every day. The second thing that happens when you keep the wrong people beside you is that you will normalize things that are clearly not healthy, because what you see becomes your standard. If you stay with someone that constantly complains, who constantly avoids responsibility, who behaves in ways that you wouldn't want to see on yourself, as time passes by, you start to see this as normal. This happened to me because there was a friend of mine that constantly complained about her toxic relationship. This went along for years, and although I was always there for her, telling her what to do, telling her how to actually solve this problem, she dragged me down throughout the years because she wasn't able to manage such a vital thing in her life, which is basically the partner that you have. And this thing was kind of like slowly affecting me because I was staying with someone that wasn't representing the person that I want to have by my side. I want the people that are around me to be a kind of reflection of me. I want them to be high in values, attitudes, and critical thinking. I want them to be a reflection of me, because whereas your partner can be very different from you, your friends have to be very similar to you, because I'm sure that I can tell what kind of person you are if I just went out with your friends. Another thing that happens when you keep staying with the wrong people is that your energy level shrinks. Every time you see them, it shrinks, okay? And then the next day, you need a couple of hours or even multiple days to recover from seeing that person. So instead of growing, instead of directing your energy in the right way, you end up involved in drama, explaining things that should be clear to the other person. I remember just this happened to me so many times, to convince other girls of their own value and of how important it was for them to find the right person, or just to dedicate more time to themselves. And I was always there giving advice, but people don't change because you just tell them, okay? People don't listen to your words, okay? Which maybe this means that you're not listening to me, but what I'm saying is that who wants to listen will listen, but those that want to do this are not that much. This is the harsh truth. Even if you're listening to me, yes, you may be understanding my message, but who of you will actually understand their value and will say from today, okay, now I'm choosing myself and I am saying no to this friend that I had for, maybe 10 years in a row. This requires a high level of awareness. We're not just talking about friendships. It can also be maybe one member of your family that is constantly keeping you down, preventing you from being the person that you want to be. In this case, I strongly suggest you to just distance yourself as far as possible. Another thing that happens when the wrong people are around you is that you will keep losing confidence because you keep breaking promises that you make to yourself. Every time you say that you're going to change, take action, say no to that person, and then you don't, you teach yourself that your own words don't matter. And over time, you'll lose trust in yourself. And this is what happened to me. I stayed so long in these friendships that weren't clearly what I wanted, that I thought that was normal, that was just friendship, that I couldn't even look for something better than that. But trust me, the wrong environment will make you betray your own standards. You might say, okay, I won't be affected. You will be. I wouldn't want to be friend with someone that doesn't value themselves, with someone that accepts everything just because they don't want to be alone. And plus, do you know that most of the people out there want to stay with you just because you are convenient to them? They don't truly care about you. They just want something from you, and they will just then disappear. They will just then forget about you. I would say 99% of friendships are like that. This is how an hedonistic society works. It's a market, okay? People use you because you're clearly a benefit to them and then just leave you. Remember, your future self is made by the decisions you're making today. And one of the most important decisions is deciding who gets access to you today, because this then reflects tomorrow. Okay guys, I hope you like this video. I was very into this topic because this is something that has resonated with me quite a lot lately. So let me know if you too found yourself in situations where you were staying with the wrong kind of people just because of company, or just because you didn't know that you actually deserved better than that. If you want to leave a comment, I'm more than happy to see your thoughts and your opinions about this. And thank you, because there are so many of us in this channel and we're growing so fast. This is crazy. See you in my next video. I love you.